KREM 2 News at Noon begins now.
We begin with a live look at a crane failure on the Post Falls Dam, what we know about the condition of the dam right now. Plus, a project that is years in the making is now open. What the improvements along Bigelow Gulch Road mean for drivers.
Low cloud cover is still keeping things cool today, but while we're not tracking rain at the moment, that will change by Halloween.
Hello, and thanks so much for joining us here on the KREM 2 News at Noon. Today, I'm Channing Curtis, and we start with some breaking news. Within the last 90 minutes, we learned a construction accident prompted a brief flash flood watch in Post Falls. Right now, KREM 2 Shannon Mowdy is live at the North Channel Dam with what we know so far. Shannon, what can you tell us?
Well, Channing, here's what we want people to know right now. Post Falls Police and Avista crews here on the scene say that any damage to the dam does not cause enough risk for the dam to fail, and that flash flood watch and warning has ended. But just take a look at this. You can see that a crane on the North Dam toppled over. We do know an employee of an Avista contractor was hurt. Post Falls Police describe it as a traumatic arm injury. Now, this all happened after 9 this morning. An alert was quickly put out that the dam could potentially fail and lead to flash flooding. And again, Post Falls Police and Avista on scene determined there is not enough damage to the dam to cause it to break or to cause a flood. There is no danger to the community right now. And we do know Avista is working with its contractor on this project to figure out exactly how this crane failure happened, and we have watched crews here trying to set up some booms and mitigate the problem, and they are working on the next steps on cleaning all of this up. In Post Falls, Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
All right, thank you, Shannon, for that report. Of course, we will continue our breaking news coverage on the KREM 2 News at 4. In the meantime, though, you can watch this story and more right now on KREM 2 Plus. Now let's switch gears and talk weather now, because it's looking like it will stay dry today, but we could see some rain by Halloween. Our meteorologist Thomas Patrick is joining us right now. So Thomas, what can we expect for the rest of today?
And coming up, I'm going to show you what day part it is most likely going to rain and how heavy that could be.
Today, a ribbon cutting ceremony has just wrapped up for the Bigelow Gulch project. That's where KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones is joining us live right now. So Brandon, you have been following this for us throughout the day, and this is a project that's really been in the works for years now. What do drivers need to know?
Well, dozens of people were here for this ribbon cutting ceremony earlier today. County commissioners, elected officials, engineers, and of course people who were just excited to see this project come to fruition after several years of being in the works. Nearly $75 million went into this project known as the Bigelow Gulch Forker Road Urban Connector. It's an idea that came to life in 1997, possibly even before that, with construction officially breaking ground in 2005. As for what the project entails, Spokane County officials say the focus was to widen and improve the road to make it safer. That includes accommodating more traffic, which would allow more vehicles to move through the area more smoothly. According to the county, the Urban Connector Alignment Project has also straightened and widened both the existing Bigelow Gulch Road and Forker Road to meet the objectives of improved safety, reduce congestion, and support of state and regional freight mobility initiatives. And of course, those were the moments right there when the ribbon was officially cut. As for what's next, though, Spokane County Public Works anticipates the completion of the project will reduce anticipated collisions by 29% on Bigelow Gulch over the next 20 years. So again, a lot of people excited for this particular moment and to see this project officially become a reality. But for now, reporting right off of Bigelow Gulch, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
The Spokane City Council passed a resolution last night opposing an initiative that will repeal the state's Climate Commitment Act. Council members Zach Sapone, Paul Dillon, and Kitty Klitsky proposed the resolution. Now, they say Initiative 2117 would put millions of dollars in funding at risk for climate-related programs across the city. The city leader said some of the funding is for the North-South Corridor, Division Street Bus Rapid Transit, and youth-free ride programs. Councilmember Jonathan Bingle says the initiative created a hidden gas tax that has increased the cost at the pump.
So for me, I'm not going to be supporting it because I think the Climate Commitment Act is not a good way for us to actually attack climate change. I think it's a way for us to get money from the people, and then even the language in here I feel like is again, borders on extortion.
I think there's always data to support arguments. One with gas taxes higher, lower, WashDOT, what will happen in the future, maybe, maybe not going forward, but it's a resolution in our support for the benefits we believe are good for the city.
The Climate Commitment Act provides a cap and invest program designed to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 95% by 2050 in Washington state. In the meantime, Idaho voters will be casting their ballots for Proposition 1. KREM 2's Tim Pham explains the changes it would make to the primary voting system.
The initiative Proposition 1 would repeal the state's partisan primary system and replace it with a top 4 primary system. All candidates seeking that office appear on one ballot, and the top 4 vote earners advance to the general election. Candidates would be able to list their party affiliation, but it would not mean they represent the party. Candidates would also not be required to list party affiliation. This primary system would be used at elections for the U.S. Senate, the U.S. House of Representatives, state legislature, elective state office, and county elective office. Supporters say every registered voter should have the right to vote in a primary, not just those who identify as Republican or Democrat. Opponents say replacing the system with the top 4 primary is overly complicated and unnecessary. They claim all that's needed for independent voters to have a voice is to change the primary system to an open one.
Now here at KREM 2, we want to give you a chance to hear from the 2 candidates running for Washington's 5th congressional district. So we hope you'll join us for tomorrow for a debate between Carmela Conroy and Michael Baumgartner. The debate begins at 7 tomorrow night, and you can watch it on KREM 2, KSKN 22, KREM 2 Plus, and KREM.com. WSU police are increasing patrols after a student says they were attacked. In the next 4 minutes, where the investigation now stands. And before we go to break today, a quick reminder that you can watch the Seattle Kraken play on KSKN 22 as they face off against the Montreal Canadiens. Coverage for that game starts at 3:30 p.m. And don't forget, this hockey season, KREM 2, KSKN 22, and Quest 22.2 are the spots to watch Kraken games for free. Washington State Patrol is investigating a shooting that happened earlier this month on I-90. WSP says the shooting happened between milepost 270 and milepost 276 on October 5th. The shooting victim was driving a white Mercedes 2024 SUV. The second car involved was a silver Mercedes sedan. If you have any information regarding what happened, they ask that you call Detective Stevens at the number at the bottom of your screen. Well, a WashDOT worker went into surgery after being hit by a car near Meade yesterday. According to WSP, a WashDOT worker was behind his car working on removing 2 dead deer. That's when a driver of a truck hit the WashDOT car, pinning the worker between the vehicles. The WashDOT employee had to be airlifted to Sacred Heart with, quote, life-altering injuries. Investigators believe the truck driver may have been distracted. And Washington State University police are now increasing patrols as they investigate a possible sexual assault on campus. The university said in a Facebook post that the assault involved a female student in the parking lot of Beasley Coliseum last Monday. According to WSU police, the suspect grabbed the student from behind and choked her, causing her to pass out. The student then woke up in the same location and believes that she may have been sexually assaulted. If you have any information regarding what happened, please call WSU police.
We are tracking rain for this Halloween. We'll have the latest on your trick-or-treat forecast, all coming up after the break.
Let's get back to that breaking news out of Post Falls. Now, earlier today, we learned of a crane that failed at the Post Falls North Channel Dam. This is a look at the map right now showing you exactly where this all happened. Right now, we have a crew out with Shannon Mowdy in Post Falls right now, gathering the very latest for us. Shannon, what can you tell us? What happened here?
Well, Channing, we want people to know right away that an alert was put out that a dam failure could happen and that could cause some flash flooding. And we know at this time, according to a Vista crews on scene and Post Falls police, the dam is not at risk of failure. We want to step aside and show you what led to all of this? You can see that crane that has just toppled over, and we did learn that the boom did hit part of the dam, but as we told you, it appears that the damage is not enough for a risk of a dam failure. So that alert that went out, Post Falls Police says there is no danger to the community. We have watched the crews here on scene all morning. They're trying to remedy this situation, shore things up, and then figure out how this crane failure happened. That is kind of the next steps here at the North Channel Dam in Post Falls. But again, that flash flooding alert that you may have gotten, Post Falls Police and Avista say there's no danger to the community and the dam is not at risk of breaking. In Post Falls, Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
All right, thank you, Shannon. Now, we know several of you out there were all concerned about that flash flood watch that was issued by the National Weather Service that you might have received. So we wanted to know more about how these alerts are issued. Within the last 45 minutes, we actually talked to a hydrologist with the National Weather Service to learn more.
Part of that emergency action plan is to notify the stakeholders that would be impacted by the dam. The National Weather Service is one of those stakeholders that gets notified because we issue the alerts for watches and warnings of any type of failure.
Now, we will continue to break down the context surrounding exactly what happened at the dam today throughout the day, starting on the KREM 2 News at 4. You can continue watching this story and more on KREM 2 Plus right now. Well, switching gears now, a pet transport charity, Wings of Rescue, landed a plane yesterday at Phelps Field, officially saving more than 75,000 pets. A full plane load of at-risk pets are now being transported from a shelter that is overcrowded to Spokanimal, who does have some open kennel space. Now, along for the ride is Liberty, a poodle mix from all the way in California. So take a look. Liberty was found abandoned in a vacant lot with no food or water. But now that's her on the right, and she's all cleaned up and ready for a forever home. Wings of Rescue says she's far more likely to be adopted quickly in Spokane.
And it never, ever stops being emotional to see the plane land, the doors open, and realize that we're saving all these lives.
Liberty will be available for adoption at Spokanimal in the coming weeks. Well, lots of treats are coming in for the annual KREM Cares Treats to Troops campaign. And this afternoon, we have to give a huge thank you to everyone who has already donated. But to those of you who are thinking of donating, we still need your help. KREM 2 recently visited Washington Trust's 5 Mile branch, and that's where people have been dropping off cards and treats the past couple of weeks. So all of these gifts are then going to be wrapped up and sent overseas to all of the men and women in our military to spread some joy this holiday season. So take a look. This is the list of this is actually the last week, rather, to bring in your donation to any Washington Trust Bank branch. And here's a list of the top 10 treats that were provided to us by Fairchild. So some of the suggested items include things like homemade cards or drink mixes, snack bars, and even things like laundry pods or even small sunscreen. If you don't have time to buy your own treats, that's okay. You can also make a monetary donation at a Washington Trust Bank location through the end of this week. If you're interested in learning more and how you can donate and help out Treats to Troops, text the word treats to our number 509-448-2000 and we'll send you a link right to your phone with all that information.
Otherwise, have fun on this Halloween as those temperatures will be in the 40s. Well, Shannon, it's time for a pick of the litter.
Right.
And today we have Florence, who has probably one of the best smiles I've ever seen.
100%. She is so photogenic. She came completely camera ready today. So this is Florence. Florence is 9 years old, and she is a Jack Russell Terrier pug mix. She's absolutely adorable and just so sweet and cuddly. A poor little thing. You know, like the little dogs, they tend to shake sometimes. She's a little camera shy, but incredibly sweet and has literally gone up to everybody here.
When we heard that pets is the best way to her heart.
Yes, and so this is why I'm rubbing her head so I can be her best friend because I want all the dogs to think I'm cool. That's my mission in life. So Florence is going to be available at the PetSmart South Hill location in just a few minutes here. As soon as we're done here on Up with KREM, I guess we'll give everybody a head start so they can go check out Florence.
Yeah,
she needs
exactly.
a good home.
Remember, parade through the newsroom, lots of pets, then PetSmart South.
All right, everyone, thanks so much for joining us today on The Noon Show. Have a great day. Oh my gosh.